I've been reluctant, guys. I've been holding back talking about this, waiting to see what happens. So let's talk about it. We are an entertainment news show. Let's talk about the tariffs. Let's talk about Hollywood. Let's talk about what's happening with Jon Voight, his whole plan to save Hollywood. And I gotta tell you, now we had President Trump came forward to talk about the 100% tax or the tariffs on Hollywood if they're not shooting here, right? If we're shooting overseas, 100%. But that changed a little bit when Jon Voight came forward. Now, the idea for this plan is this. Now, they want to start doing federal tax incentives, which I am all about. I've been talking about this for a long time, guys. Federal tax incentives are great. It's a great thing. But right now, if for states right now, they want to do, if you don't have a tax incentive in your fellow state, they want to give you a 20% federal tax incentive. Now, what's that 20%? That's a bigger number we have to figure out about. But 20%, I think that's going to be 20% back based off how much you're investing in that production. Now, if you have tax incentives already through your state, like California is trying to work out right now, Georgia, if you have those, they're going to give you a 10% federal tax incentive on top of that. They're calling it stacking it, putting it on tax. It's stackable, so you're getting an extra 10% from the federal government on top of what the state is giving that. That's always something I love. I think California's been shouting for that for a long time. A lot of people haven't pushed in there. I was hoping Arnold was in charge. We'd get that. He'd push for that. And he tried his best. But you know what? We've been dealing with this for a long fucking time. A long time. And I hope we can actually get tax incentives to save us. But that's where it's at. I'm going to tell you right now, this tariff thing is this. Now, if you shoot out of the country, they're saying this, and it could have been produced in America, they want to put a tariff on your production of 120%. 120% tariff on this if you're shooting out of the country when you could have shot here. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I've been saying this in the show a long time, is we go to the UK a lot. We go to Ireland. That's getting bigger and bigger. We go to Scotland. We've been going to Australia. There's a lot of productions like Megan 2 shot in Australia. New Zealand, we go to all the Avatar movies have gone there. And they do that because those governments give very great tax incentives. We don't do the same here. And so there's like, fuck you guys, we're out. And to me, that's a problem. It's always been a problem. And you know what? I've always said, let's pull the actors to stop production. Let's make this happen. Bring it back home. And maybe this can help. But the problem is all these guidelines are very vague. And what they're saying right now, is, well, they're not talking about what happens with shooting here or with doing post-production here and shooting there. What they're talking about, is there a gray area? If the production has to, there's a lot of producers coming forward we have castles in Ireland. We have castles in the UK. We have big productions like Game of Thrones. You can't shoot that in here. You can't shoot in the States. And so the actual discrepancy here is, can you shoot it here? And these incentives are saying that they will work hand in hand with the incentives there and here so that we can shoot overseas still. They're not going to over-tariff those. That sounds good. But the biggest problem is, will this work? Look at Netflix right now. Netflix, they look at not Hunger Games, look at the Squid Game. Squid Game, they shoot that all overseas and they license that franchise and they bring it here. Are they going to actually attack those? That's not really laid out enough. And so I think right now that could actually hurt those productions like Netflix, because this is attacking everything, guys. These incentives and these tax things applies to everything. TV, movies, cable, everything, streaming, it all. It's an attack everything, which we do need to go after them. We have to stop
Netflix
this.
Will have nothing, Brian.
Well, what they're trying to say is that this might be a gray area for that, GR, which I hear that more and more, but I think it's going to kill. I think it's going to kill fucking Netflix. Ted has not said shit about this. Disney came forward and said they're certainly happy to help in terms of, designing something that can actually be great for the industry and make it stronger moving forward, but they didn't actually weigh in on this. A big thing that most producers are saying is this, though. They're saying what the problem is for most tax incentives leaving California is that California's tax incentives, even laid out, Newsom has laid out, is that in order to get them, they have to actually give more jobs for the below-the-line people. Now, if you don't actually give below-the-line production jobs out to the union members, the vendors, and all that, they're not going to give you tax incentives. Georgia, Canada, UK, they're saying if you come here, we give you these tax incentives, but California's always said, it's not just for the upper levels, it's not for the above-the-line people. We need to give more jobs for the below-the-line people, which for me is a big thing. And these tax incentives, what they're going to do is not give it below the line. They actually weigh it out saying, hey, we want to actually worry about the above the line people more. Which, guys, if you know anything about me, I will tell you the reason why I want to run for SAG president is because I worry about the below the line people. A lot of us can't get fucking jobs, and that's what's killing Hollywood. The vendors aren't getting jobs. The crew members aren't getting jobs. Second, third generation. On top of that, too, the mid to low under 5 actors are not getting that, and that's the problem right now. And it's just not addressing that, and that's my big worry. I will say, fuck yeah, put weight on productions to come back to California. Make that happen, but give the jobs back to the people that are the below the line people. The above the line people are always going to make fucking money. They all go. Every time we go out of state because of tax incentives, it's because they know they're making their money and they'll hire local.
Ryan, for those at home that don't know what the line is, can you explain what that is to people?
Brandon, yes.
Oh, do you want me to do? I was going to say, can you go ahead and explain that?
Yeah. So below the line, so look at that. Yeah. Above the line is producers, actors, directors. The DPs can fall into that. The head writers, when it comes to the actual staff below them, any kind of assistants, any kind of crew members, any kind of like grips, electric, day players, they fall into below the line. And when that happens,
what is the line?
The line is, I would say, it's probably 6 figures and above. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at it realistically.
Okay.
And a good way to think of it, I think, is maybe this is not official, but like, in a movie when the credits come on at the beginning, those are the above the line people, and then the people at the end credits are the below the line people.
Yeah,
I like that.
The doubles, any kind of assistance. Then the thing is, like, the biggest thing that has made Hollywood work here before and the years before me, everybody else, is like there's a community of people above and below the line that have all thrived and driven their careers forward. And at one point, it started changing. And only the people above the line, the producers, the directors, the higher ups, they're making that money. And they don't want to pay residuals, Doc Savage. That's the problem. They're trying to take that away. And it's always been about just killing the working class actor, the working class writer, the working class grip elector, just trying to get their fucking foot in the door to make money, to make a career, And that's the thing. Like, that's the one thing that these things don't address. They actually say we should stop that. And a lot of producers have come forward and say, like, as long as we make these tax incentives, it doesn't matter. We go there. We're producing it there, so that's all that matters. No, it's about driving jobs. And I get that California might be too high, GR. I get that. Might be having 2 more high stakes for that. That's what people might say. But for me personally, to make this business thrive, we all have to have a position to grow. They'll be able to start from the bottom and be able to become Tom Cruise, become Spielberg, become for Brandon. Who's your highest? Who's the biggest writer you're excited about? You want to be like? Could it be like
Sorkin?
Sorkin. Who you want to be Sorkin, right? But in order to do that, you should have incentives to make a production go that gets you that job, so you can get that job to get to be Sorkin. Right. And that's the one thing this doesn't really help. And that's my one worry about them. I like putting pressure on fucking people to stay here. Trust me, I'm all about that. Bring the jobs back to America. Bring production back to California. But for me personally, we got to get the people that are nobodies to have a chance to become somebodies. That's my perspective. Guys, you hear about this. Let's go to the panel. This is not political for me. This is about fixing fucking Hollywood. I don't care who you voted for president. I don't care who you hate, you love. At the end of the day, let's fucking fix it, and let's fix it together. John Voight, you're 86 years old. You can't fix it. We need somebody younger. I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say, GR. So I'm going to go with GR first. GR, I'm sorry. I gave the fucking John Voight thing earlier. You and I had a moment about that. Netflix is worried about this, I would say, right? They're probably worried. Do you think that this is a good step forward, though? They're terrified. Oh, shit, GR. Yeah, I'm giving that a round of applause. That's fucking fun. What do you think, GR? Is this a good step?
I think it is. I mean, it's gonna bring stuff back to the States one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You said it best. We want the job. Yeah, he's old. He's older than me, so he is old. Okay? I'm only youth deprived. He's fucking old.
Youth deprived. Yeah,
he's scarf. GR, you need a scarf.
No, I don't look good with a scarf. I mean, hey, I am what I am. I'm youth deprived, and I admit it. I don't have a problem with it.
Don't knock it till you try it, GR.
Like it, hey, as long as the lovers like it, who gives a shit?
There you go.
But it's all about the industry right now.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to, it's going to bring the jobs back to the States. And hopefully it brings them back here to California. We got to get some of these people in Sacramento to get their heads out of their gluteus maximus and realize we need the jobs here if they want Hollywood to survive.
GR, this has been the capital for film forever. You know what I mean? We started here, we grew here, we drove there. There's second, third generations. It's a big deal. We're trying to save this town. And that's why I ask for all the help I can get. I would always ask for that. But I still think at the end of the day, we have to worry about below the line people. We have to. If you don't worry about those, you're not thinking right about the growth and the trajectory to save this business. It starts, guys. People that start at the bottom work their way up. That's where it starts, GR. Don't you agree? We started at 1 subscriber, right? And look, we're at 14,000. Yeah. We didn't, you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be nice to have some help along the way?
Brian, I remember when actually, and I'm not blowing my own horn, I was the first subscriber to Cruise Control when you started back in the day.
Yeah.
I think Queen was number 2.
She was right there behind you, man. Right there.
Yeah.
You two can fight it out later who was 1 and 2. I'm not going to get involved with that shit.
No, hey, and I don't care. The bottom line, I love this show. And I love this business.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely, when it comes to acting, I'm definitely below the line, okay? I make you look like the superstar, Brian.
You're above the line in our hearts, though, GR. Above the line in our hearts.
I'm confused, though, why this...
You lie beautifully, and I love you for it.
Why will this not help below the line people?
Because the one thing they're saying in the contract is, and also producers are coming forward, saying that they just want to put the tax incentives into play without... What they say is, because the biggest thing about most set incentives, like California is a big one, is that in order to get these incentives, you have to have so many jobs that are below the line. You know, we have to hire so many below the lines to actually get it. And most states, when they leave California, they don't put that on there. And so, and the biggest thing for now is they're trying to get rid of all of the restrictions like California has and say like, oh no, it's just if you go there, that's it. We're not going to worry about below the line people. As long as you put so much money into the state that go to above the line, then that's all that matters. And so then they can hire anybody else.
So would it still help below the line people in California?
No.
Not at all, huh?
I mean, no. Like California is still trying to initialize theirs, and then Newsom's trying to push that, but they're trying to stop Newsom from doing the whole below the line thing, which they're trying to push over every state. And that's apparently what they want to get rid of. That's what John Boyd wants to get rid of, is like the below the line thing. He says that's not right. He said if you're putting money, and a lot of producers have come forward and say, if you're putting money in the state, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if we're not hiring below the line.
That's bullshit.
Pepe doesn't like that, you know? That's what I worry about.
You're right, Pepe. It is bullshit.
And I'm going to go to Ronald fast because Ronald he's been in the business. His second generation, Ronald?
Second generation.
Yeah. So you've seen growing up in this business, you probably see more people in this business in LA that, you know, came from family members growing up in this business. You probably met a lot of below the line people in your time too. Do you think they should put that in there? And how do you feel about this whole push to drive jobs back to Hollywood?
Well, I think we need the push because without Hollywood, really, what is Los Angeles known for? It's kind of creepy. It's kind of sad.
Tacos.
And it puts tacos. It puts out so many other people from work. It's crazy the amount of people that rely on actual shooting of film and TV. I'm sort of a 50-50 on this whole below the line thing, which is surprising. If jobs are brought back, it's automatically going to be helping below the line because there's going to be jobs.
Nope.
If that stipulation is getting in the way of things, then, you know, we got to look at that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, Ron.
Right?
That's what people are saying. Yes, Pepestar?
The question that stipulation gets in the way is because they don't want to pay the below the line people just a little bit more. They want to keep it the same. It's bullshit.
Well, they get raises every year.
$1 or $2. Are you serious? You know how many raises? You know how much the CEOs get?
It's a percentage. It's a percentage.
Okay, but it's not what the CEOs get.
Well,
You're arguing with a dog.
No, it's not.
But that's how business works. The CEOs are always going to have to get the most money.
That's fine. You just can't take away from the below the line people. It's fine if the CEOs. Everybody should get a little bit more. Inflation, hello. What the fuck?
But that's not what this is about.
Hey,
But
Pepe,
If you're bringing jobs back, that's definitely what it's
If you can
about.
get only one Chewy toy instead of 30, you're going to have to live with that.
So Brian, you know what Disney did? Because they had so many. They used to have so many productions out in Canada, and they were enticed. The union enticed them to bring them back, and they did. But they lost. They had a 22% tax break up in Canada, so they came back, and guess what they did? They took every employee and docked them 22%.
Are you kidding me? What?
That's dirty.
It was the one Disney show I did, and I'm like, this is my rate. It's like 20% less, and the unions went for it.
How? But that's what they do. They just fucking. The problem is, you know why they do that? They bend over backwards, and why? Because a lot of them are producers already. You know,
of course,
they're producers, and that's why. Like, and guys, I love the push, but that's why I'm like, fucking John Voight is not the man to be running this shit.
No, he's not.
Stallone, not the man to be running this shit.
No.
You know, Mel Gibson, fucking that guy, not the guy. We need somebody that's younger, that's been in the trenches, dealing with this shit, to fucking figure it out.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
My problem is,
there we go.
I don't think incentives are great, but
thank you, Mr. President.
You see how tariffs are going right now, and I think we should just incentives are great. The tariffs, I think, are gonna fucking kill it because I don't.
He already changed China to now 80%. He dropped it from 145 to 80 this morning.
What's gonna happen?
I didn't see that.
So theaters are starting to set their own prices. Productions are setting their own prices. They're just gonna if the tariffs go up, you're just gonna pay more for that movie in the theater. I think Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday's filming in where is that? New Zealand, or something?
UK right now. They're in the UK. They're at the Pinewood Studios right now.
All they're gonna do is you're gonna charge us. We're gonna take it to the Patreon.
Yep.
You're gonna pay more for the
keep
movie.
Going. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's the worry about it too, you know? That's the worry about it. And that's why we're like, we got to fucking figure it out. But if you just throw it on there nonchalantly, that's a problem. And I like the idea of hey, if you could have shot this, fuck you. But who's it going to come down to? That's the problem. It's like, is Mickey going to throw it at us? He might. That mouse is a fucking vindictive motherfucker sometimes. I love him, but he is.
And let's not forget about the incentives China was throwing at Hollywood. They filmed
my God.
They filmed one of the big Transformers over there because China was throwing incentives at them.
Yep.
But Brandon, do you think this is good to be putting pressure to come back here though? And as a writer, do you think again, we're talking about above, below the line, all this stuff. This is the biggest. To me, this is the biggest debate in this because when I look at the whole thing, I say, okay, we're gonna put pressure to come home. Cool. We're gonna try to give federal tax incentives. Cool. But we're gonna try to cut away. It doesn't matter. And I get what Ronald's saying. It's like as long as we bring it back, it's good. I 100% that. But to take care of everybody, that's my worry. Do you think that's a bit? Should I be worrying about that, or do you think I'm fucking overreacting?
I don't know. I think this is. I think it's good that the conversation is happening because for a while it wasn't.
Yeah, it was not. It fucking wasn't.
No.
And I'm the most not Trump guy ever, but I'm glad that I have to I have to be consistent.
Damn GR.
And I have to take everything as it comes. I read the thing that they released, the John Voight proposal. Yeah. And there's some good stuff in there.
Bullshit.
I think there's some good stuff. I don't know if it's all great. Yeah, the below the line stuff is bad. I think that from what it said, it was 75% of the production has to be here in order to qualify, which leads me to believe that it would result in hiring more local American below-the-line people.
I would hope so. Hope so, right?
That's the case, because then you're not going to outsource that. You're not going to fly a second AC over from London.
But I will say this though, Brand. The problem is though too, it's like America as opposed to California. So it could be Georgia still, and then then it still goes to Georgia, as opposed to helping us is the problem.
I think you're going to see states fighting for these productions with their own incentives, and I don't think it's coming back to Hollywood because there'll be states be like, "Hey, come over here."
I think in a way though that it's like at this point it's better to go back to Georgia, and that's like a step in the right direction than the way now where there's like nobody here in America. Period.
Yeah.
I think
if you only knew the rules down there in Georgia would blow your fucking mind.
Yeah, Peppy worked a job down there, and I was like, "Damn, Peppy, you working for fucking Snickety Snacks?"
Not happening.
I mean, you guys got to remember that our governor here in California and our politicians here have driven business out of California.
Oh, here we go.
They've gone to Georgia.
Here we go.
No, Ron, this isn't a political comment. This is a reality comment.
It's turning political.
All right, one at a time here. One at a time.
It's a step in the right direction though.
Where business has gone from California, Georgia, Texas,
Canada,
Alabama, they've gone everywhere, but they're not staying here because the politicians in this state have taxed them or created bylaws and driven them out. That's reality.
I'm going to tell you, Gio, the biggest problem I would say is the restrictions. The restrictions in LA, which they're trying to get through. Look at Film LA. It's a I've done independent shit here, and it's ridiculous how much they ask you for just to fucking film here.
You have to hire a cop. You have to hire a cop for the day just to film anything in LA.
I'm going to tell you, we had like a fucking 15-person crew, low budget, and they're like, "Oh, you got over 10? Oh, that means we got to put flyers out an extra block radius. That's another $400." I'm like, "What the fuck are you?" That same person has to go one block to put flyers out, so you're charging me $400 for a low budget, no budget production. That's a problem. Also, why the fuck we've been talking about tax incentives since October and they haven't fucking passed?
Yeah.
You know? Why?
I think they have been dragging their feet, and it's I think it's because this state has like a lot of problems that they're dealing with too, with the fires and everything. But can I tell you the one thing I read in there that I didn't like though? There's a few things, but the one that stuck out for me was like stuck out for me, not stuck. That's not a word.
Stuck?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
It's a new word. I like it. New word. Stuck.
Was the
stuck it up?
Where it's like in order to qualify, it has to be an American. The movie or content has to have passed some kind of American
value, right?
American values.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Which seems like a very
it's like China.
Slope. Yeah, exactly.
That's ridiculous.
It's very slippery slope, and I do not like
South Park episode.
Right.
If you want to make money, you have to suck on the teeth of America.
And
that's what I'm hearing.
It's called Little House in the Prairie. Little House in the Prairie qualifies.
That's the only one.
Oh my God. Yes.
My question is, what is an American value then?
And that's the question.
Right. Very
that's
true.
a Hallmark Channel.
That's where it's very obscure, and that's where it's not defined enough. Mm-hmm. If you're putting this out there, be defined. And like
Kirk Cameron and his sister, they consider themselves Hollywood value.
What about Hollywood is defined? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nobody's held accountable for anything.
Nothing.
McCarthyism. It reminds me of McCarthyism, like the when they were like, "Are you a communist?" Like all the screenwriters. Communist.
Well, I just think that like it's a good
and
step.
Then they went behind the scenes and wrote the stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even look at what writers have gone through already. Look at these negotiations with all these different contracts, the strikes, the WJ strike, the SAG strike. And it's like we're struggling. We're fucking struggling. And and I just think that it's a good step, but I think that it needs to be more defined. I think we have to, because like they're trying to say saving Hollywood. That's the biggest thing in this, right? Saving Hollywood. And that's what they say. But if you're going to save Hollywood, fucking save Hollywood. Like find ways to make it come here to me. Because right now it seems like as we're saying this and the restrictions here, it's going to go other places in the country, which is fine. But to me, we still have the backbone of Hollywood. Let's make this stay that way. Fucking I Love Lucy was here. Fucking James Cagney was tap dancing here back in the day. We had actors who lived at Paramount Studios, and they went from production to production to production, and they had a career. And there's none of that anymore. And to save it,
bad. It's bad when MasterChef America is shooting in Australia.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Ronald, Todd, I see you raising your hand. Ronald?
Hollywood needs a really good PR plan, and it needs a good campaign. And it's like, because it's like Hollywood, when you want it done right the first time, we know how to do all of this. They're figuring it out in other places, but Hollywood has done it always. And you know how I dealt with the 22%? They got 22% less of Ronald Todd.
There you go. There you
That's what
go.
eventually happens. You get 20% less work.
Physically, mentally, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not coming in today.
How about politicians in all parties get their head out of their ass and let it come back here?
Yes. I think regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, the biggest thing is this is we're trying to fucking save this fucking town. And I know people tell me I say fuck too much. That's fine. But
It'll be like a coal mining town if Hollywood goes.
Fuck you.
It'll be like a coal mining town.
Someone was like, I love this show, but it's too much effing. And I'm like, I know we F all the time on this show. It's fine. Right. Pepe? We F all the time.
Yeah.
We do. Well, what good is saving the town if you're not saving the people in the town?
We have to save them both,
If you save the town, they'll be saved.
No, they won't. You got to take care of the people.
And
we want to do that, Pepe.
I don't want LA to turn into a TikToker only industry.
Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Film, television.
That's a whole Gen Z things.
I know, but you
here.
go to Hollywood, they've like revitalized Hollywood now, like the actual geographical Hollywood, like Cahuenga, like all those bars opening up and all those like trendy places.
We kind of talked about this on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Didn't we, Brian? We talked about it.
We started
Gen
talking
Z's
about it.
attention span. Gen
There it
Z's
is.
attention span is 60, max
Gen Z.
90 seconds.
Jordan,
And
you don't live here.
We need to stretch it out a little bit.
We have to stretch those fucking telomeres, GR. Stretch them out.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Jordan, before we move on fast, outside, you're very much engrossed in the world, but do you think we will actually go forward with this?
I want to be optimistic that they can work something out and bring Hollywood back to life, and what I've seen in the past, it's just going to be circle jerking because this guy don't like that guy, that politician don't like this politician. You got to put this in the bill to get it to pass, and I don't want that in the bill to get it to pass because it has nothing to do with Hollywood. So eventually, you ain't going to get shit done.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
True.
That's the worry.
I mean,
and even like independent, they're trying to help. They're trying to say like this won't always apply to independent films too. I saw that in there too. But like, what happens? We can only do so much here. There's so many regulations on independent films on Hollywood. There's again, as I said, the biggest thing in LA is like, oh, we passed this less red tape in LA, but is it really going to be less red tape? I don't fucking believe it. I don't believe it. We need somebody to get in here and fuck shit up. That's what we need. And I think this is a start.
The problem is even whether you agree with the politicians in office right now or not, that's not the point. The point is every so many years you get a new cabinet, you get a new regime in there that could just take everything away again or add everything again. So
let's add it. Let's make it.
I'm glad the discussion is happening. And I think the five of us can fix it. So.
And Pepestar.
Whoa.
Sorry, six.
Brandy. Do you not see me? Am I not here? Do you not hear me? Come on.
You, actually. No,
Show me some love, brother. Show me some love, brother.
There he is.
Six of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pepestar, can we fix it?
5.5?
I don't know. And the 5.5, Ron Jean, slow it down, pal. I'll come over there and drop a deuce on you right now.
There you go. Watch out, GR.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of deuces going around today.
He does. He shits a lot for a small dog. It's not insane.
We know one thing for sure.
Let me tell you something,
shit,
especially
Jordan.
you. Yeah, you let drink the prune juice and let the shit flow.
There we go. All right, guys. We had to address it. Hollywood.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Cause the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks.
Cause I'm hungry.
Holla back. Love y'all.
Control show.